The Attorney General of this state is a disgrace. Letitia James is a disgrace. She's a disgrace to our country and to the state of New York. She should focus on all of the violent crime and the murders going on in New York, not on somebody that paid back the banks in full without a default, and in many cases paid it back early. Thank you very much, everybody.
That was Donald Trump attacking New York Attorney General Letitia James after day one of trial concluded in the New York Attorney General's civil fraud case against Donald Trump. Donald Trump attended today's proceedings. Before the proceedings commenced, he attacked Judge Engoron. He attacked New York Attorney General Letitia James. During the lunch break, Donald Trump became unhinged. And after, you just saw Donald Trump attack New York Attorney General Letitia James again. But Donald Trump seems to maybe have a change of heart about Judge Engoron after today's proceedings, where Donald Trump then says he thinks that Judge Engoron was fair on his statement about the statute of limitations. Here, play this clip.
Well, I think that was very good. That last 5 minutes was outstanding because the judge essentially conceded that the statute of limitations that we won at the Court of Appeals is in effect. Therefore, about 80% of the case is over. I was going to come out and say that, as you know, we're not entitled to a jury, which is pretty unusual in the United States of America. So we think it's very unfair that I don't have a jury, but the judge's last statement was very fair. And if I read it right, I'll let perhaps one of the lawyers speak to it. But Cliff, maybe you'll speak to it if you would. But the way I interpret that, and the way everyone else in the room seems to interpret that, is that the statute of limitations is a very real thing in this country.
I'll address that in one moment because it is not 80% of the case has been dismissed. Donald Trump lies about numbers. He inflates numbers. That's why he is on this fraud trial for fraudulent valuations in the first place. With respect to Donald Trump saying, though, that he's not able to get a jury trial, did you see his lawyer, Alina Habba, in the background right there kind of make a face when Donald Trump was saying that there was no jury trial and that was unfair? That was because she failed to demand a jury trial. All you have to do is check the box in New York for a demand for jury trial, but she failed to do that. That's why this is now a bench trial, because a jury trial was not requested. What the judge said on the statute of limitations is actually not surprising, and in fact, that was well known, that the statute of limitations extends back to February of 2016. That's the statute of limitations in New York. What New York Attorney General Letitia James made the point of, and this is still the case, is that a financial transaction, even if it predated 2016, if the false and fraudulent representation was made on or after February of 2016, the statute of limitations does not expire, and that is most of the New York Attorney General case. So Donald Trump simply doesn't know the law there, and so he's just, again, inflating numbers that are just not true. But notice the tone shift from Donald Trump there, because now he believes, because he doesn't understand the law, that the judge was fair to him, because you could kind of just manipulate Donald Trump by just telling him you like him. And so Donald Trump's like, oh, I guess the judge likes me now. No, not at all, because this is what Donald Trump said during the lunch break, where Donald Trump said the judge should be disbarred and criminally indicted. Play this clip.
This is a judge that should be disbarred. This is a judge that should be out of office. This is a judge that some people say could be charged criminally for what he's doing. He's interfering with an election, and it's a disgrace. Thank you very much.
Mr. Trump, why do you want to be here?
And then Donald Trump called the judge a Democratic operative. Play this clip.
Violent crime that's being committed in our city and our state is disgraceful, and we're going to be here for months with a judge that already made up his mind. It's ridiculous. He's a Democrat judge, he's an operative, and it's ridiculous. Other than that, things went very well.
What are you going to have for lunch?
Will you come back after lunch, Mr. Trump?
Probably.
And here Donald Trump whined during the lunch break that he was actually the victim, that he was defrauded. Play this clip.
It's a disgraceful trial put forward by an Attorney General who's corrupt. We have murders going all over the city, all over the state at a record level. It's an epidemic, and they waste their time on this with banks that were very happy. They got all their money back. They weren't defrauded. I've been defrauded. With a judge that ruled that a building, that a property is worth $18 million, when in fact it's worth over $1 billion, probably $1.5 billion, it may be worth anything. When many properties which I sold are worth much more than were listed in the financial statements.
And that mirrors what Donald Trump said before the proceedings took place today, where Donald Trump said that the judge was unfair because he says the judge ruled that the valuation of Mar-a-Lago is only $18 million when Donald Trump says that the valuation is $1 billion. Here, play this clip.
They have one property that's worth anywhere from 50 to 100 times what this judge put down as a value. Put down a value $18 million. And the property's probably worth, could be anywhere from 50 to 100 times more than that. And a lot of those numbers could even be low. We have other properties, the same thing, so he devalued everything. I didn't even put in my best asset, which is the brand, in terms of value. Coca-Cola, take a look at their value. They have a value. The value of their brand is more than everything else put together. My brand is extremely valuable. I didn't even use it in my financials. If I wanted to build up a financial statement, I would have built it up by using brand in addition to everything else. We have the greatest properties. We have among the greatest properties in the world, and I have to go.
And as I've said before, and let me say it again, Judge Engoron did not rule on the valuation of Mar-a-Lago in the partial summary judgment order. In the partial summary judgment motion order, where Judge Engoron ordered the cancellation of Donald Trump's businesses as well as the dissolution of those businesses, Judge Engoron simply cited what the tax assessor appraised the value of Mar-a-Lago and the other properties to be, as well as the valuation that Donald Trump gave the tax assessors, where Donald Trump fought for a lower valuation than $26.6 million for Mar-a-Lago, so Donald Trump could and did in fact actually pay lower property taxes. And Donald Trump cited the various encumbrances and historical easements on the property to try to deflate the value. But when he went to the banks, Donald Trump, in his own mind, removed those encumbrances and said that there was a much higher value to the tune of $600 million. Now Donald Trump claims the market value is $1 billion. And look, I understand that the market value of properties may be higher than the tax assessment by, let's say, the Palm Beach County tax assessor, but not 3,000 to 5,000% more than what the tax assessment is and what Donald Trump previously stipulated the valuation is when Donald Trump said it was valued at less than $26.6 million. This is New York Attorney General Letitia James before the proceedings commenced. Play the clip.
Good morning, everyone. Donald Trump and the other defendants have committed persistent and repeated fraud. Last week, we proved that in our motion for summary judgment. Today, we will prove our other claims. My message is simple. No matter how powerful you are, no matter how much money you think you may have, no one is above the law. And it is my responsibility and my duty and my job to enforce it. The law is both powerful and fragile. And today in court, we will prove our case. I thank you all for being here. And again, justice will prevail. Thank you.
So what went down on day one? Let me summarize it quickly. Opening statements took place. New York Attorney General Letitia James' team put on a presentation where they showed video clips of depositions, for example, where Donald Trump, Eric, and Don Jr. all said that they don't know who put together the statement of financial conditions. They were all pointing fingers at each other, and the New York Attorney General put forward just the facts and the documents in the statement of financial conditions. Donald Trump's lawyer lawyers, on the other hand, attacked my co-host on Political Beatdown, Michael Cohen, and said he shouldn't be trusted, even though the case is about the documents and the statements of financial condition. And Michael Cohen's been a very important cooperative witness, just showing what the documents state. That's what took place during opening statements. The first witness was then called Donald Bender of the Meiselas accounting firm. Donald Bender said that he did not approve the statement of financial conditions for their accuracy. That was not his job. There is a disclaimer, not a disclaimer that disclaims all liability, but that simply says you shouldn't rely on what Meiselas is saying. Conduct your own research, which Donald Trump says that allowed him to misrepresent the valuations, which is simply not the law. You can't commit material fraud on the market. And then at the end, you had the judge just have that brief conversation about the statute of limitations. That's all that took place today. Donald Bender, the accountant from Meiselas, will be testifying in day 2, and we expect Donald Trump to testify as well. That's your update from today. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 2 million subscribers. Have a great day. Oh, and if you want to support the growth of this platform, check us out. Patreon.com/MeidasTouch. Have a good one.
Hey, Meidas Mighty. Love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.